Okay guys, so we're going to be making pavlova today. We're going to start by separating our eggs. We just need the egg whites today. You can use the egg yolks to make a custard or something like that. But the egg whites we're going to put into a very clean bowl, ideally a metal bowl or a glass bowl, but not a plastic bowl. Plastic bowls tend to get little scratches in them, and grease and fat can get stuck in those scratches really easily. And if any fat gets involved in this process at all, it's going to stop the egg whites from aerating properly, which means if you do get any egg yolk into your egg whites, you're going to have to throw them out and start again, I'm afraid. Anyway, so we're going to whisk our egg whites until they reach stiff peaks. So what's actually happening here is that the protein in the egg white is being stretched. If you remember, proteins are tight little spirals that are all tangled up together. The whisk is physically stretching those spirals out, stretching them out, and they're forming this stable network. Once they're in that stable network, as they're stretching, they can trap and hold air bubbles. And so the egg white is becoming aerated. It's holding air. There are little air bubbles trapped in the liquid, so it is a foam. There you go, stiff peaks. So when it looks like that, you get that stiff peak. That's it. You've done it enough. You're still going to be whisking for quite a bit longer, so don't get too excited. But can you see that it's gone very pale? It's grown in volume. It's a lot bigger because it's got all those air bubbles trapped in it. But it's not very stable at the moment. So as we add the sugar, it's going to become more and more stable. But you need to be really careful when you add the sugar. The sugar crystals will help push more air into the foam. Whoa! But if you add them too quickly, they'll weight it down and you'll lose all of the air and it'll become runny. And at that point, there's nothing you can do. You can't whisk it more and fix it. It's unfixable. So if you add your sugar too fast, the meringue goes all runny and you have to chuck it out and start again. Your meringue should be really thick. You should be able to pipe it and for it to hold its shape. So we're going to add the sugar super slow, 1 dessert spoon at a time. You can make this with a stand mix like I'm doing now, or you could use an electric whisk, but I wouldn't try and do it by hand. You'll end up just absolutely exhausted. You'll see how long this goes on for. It goes on for ages. So as you can see, as I add the sugar, the meringue is becoming thicker, glossier. That's what we're after. Every now and again you have to scrape down the sides to make sure that there's not sugar crystals being trapped at the sides, and to make sure that the meringue at the bottom is being mixed as well as the meringue at the top. Okay, so we're going to add some corn flour and then some vinegar. So again, going to make the meringue slightly more stable, and it's going to help give it that chewy interior that you have in a pavlova. Sieve in the corn flour. And then some vinegar. You could use white wine vinegar, you could use apple cider vinegar. Don't use malt vinegar or balsamic vinegar, obviously. It's not salad or fish and chips. That's a little bit of vanilla bean paste just to make the meringue taste slightly better. This really is going on for a long time. I think I'm going to speed it up. Hang on. Scrape down the sides. Do you see how thick the meringue is? So adding that sugar very slowly, just 1 spoon at a time. And the key words here to remember are aeration, foam, and protein. The proteins are denaturing. The proteins denature. Oh, more vanilla bean paste. Clearly I tasted it and decided it wasn't enough. See how thick it is? That's about done. So it should be thick and glossy and white. Once you've made your meringue, you need to line a baking sheet. If you put a tiny little bit of meringue in each corner, it holds the baking parchment down really well, which means that you don't have to worry about it. We're going to put some dollops of meringue out and then shape them into little bowls. You can see here how thick the meringue needs to be. That's what it should look like. The little specks you can see are vanilla bean paste, the little seeds from the vanilla bean. So these are enormous, by the way, the ones that I did. They were enough to feed 2 people. You could do them much, much smaller, much smaller. You need to preheat your oven to around 125, 130 degrees. The aim is to cook these for a long time. What we're actually trying to do is dry them out rather than cook them. We just want the water to evaporate off and for them to dry out. Lots of people prop the oven door open a little bit with a wooden spoon just to let any steam out. And yeah, so what we really don't want is for the sugar to caramelise. We don't want them to turn brown. The sugar in here is sucrose, and that caramelises at 170 degrees. So if we keep the oven down to about 125 degrees and cook them for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, that should keep them nice and white and make them nice and crisp. So make a little hole in the middle, just like that, and that's it. So your meringue has been in the oven for a couple of hours. It's nice and crisp on the outside, and you've then let it cool down completely. You're going to prep your fillings now. So you've got your fruit, we'll talk about that more in a minute, and the cream. So we're going to whip some cream. This is double cream. You can use whipping cream if you like, but double cream tastes better. I'm not going to add any sugar to it because the meringue is, well, you saw all the sugar that went into the meringue. It's so sweet. You do not need to add sugar to your cream. So I'm using a balloon whisk to whisk the cream. I would strongly recommend whisking your cream by hand because so many people over whip their cream. I've got vanilla bean paste on my thumb. Lovely. So using a balloon whisk, and this time it's the fat in the cream that's going to help it to aerate and create a foam. And this time we're not looking for stiff peaks, we're looking for soft peaks. So we're looking for the swirl when we're doing cream. We'll do it in a second, I'm sure. It's like a minute longer. Less than there. The swirl at the end as you twist it. Just like that. If you can't get it to swirl, if you've overdone it, if you keep a little bit of cream back at the very beginning, then you can mix in a bit completely liquid cream and you can usually save it. A little bit more vanilla to add flavour, but at this point, don't overdo it. So like I say, this again is a foam. It's cream that's been aerated, and it is the fat this time that is holding on to the air. That's why it doesn't really work with single cream, because there's not enough fat in it. It doesn't work with milk. You need whipping cream or double cream for the fat content. So that's done, put that to one side. Here are our meringues. There you go. And you see they should be nice and pale. It's an impressive burn I've got on my hand there. Still got vanilla bean paste on my thumb. So nice and crisp. Should be chewy on the inside, but holds its shape and should be pale. As white as you can possibly get it. So fill with cream. Don't overwork it. And then top with fruit. So the fruit you use is up to you. You want to go for something that's not going to go brown, because yeah, we don't want any enzymic browning. So no banana, no apple, no pear. But you could use like kiwi, you could use peaches, nectarines. I've got summer berries here. Or you can do like slightly stewed plums that you've done with like autumn spices is quite nice. Or you can do poached pears. That can be really lovely. Bit of icing sugar to make it look pretty. And there you go. That's about it. Have a go, guys.